Well, hello, friends. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you my daily diary. What did I do from Wednesday, the 22nd of April, through Saturday, the 25th of April of 2026? Well, these were fruitful days in the office, and we had on the 22nd, I started out with some, I was in D.C. from the night before, and started out about 4 in the morning to get back to Orlando, went to the airport and flew back. As I was doing so, I did various work at the on the ride to the airport, at the terminal, on the plane, and on the ride back to the office on my laptop and various emails. Let me just read through some of the things I was doing. Communication with Pastor Lucas Miles. Turning Point USA, we're going to have him on the program. Randy O'Bannon, Research Director at National Right to Life, some communication with him. Preparing a special video spot that you'll see repeatedly about the unborn baby and also about the dismemberment of that baby by abortion. Finalizing a prayer booklet, working on the pastoral team schedule, working on a new podcast I'll be doing with Bishop Aubrey Shines. Upper donor letters, the national consecration of our courts. I was invited to be one of the prayer leaders for that event coming up in October when the Supreme Court will begin its new term. The current term ends in June. Invitation for 40 Days for Life, prayer vigils. I've been invited to lead some prayer vigils, as I often do. We're going to be planning the dates for that. Some meetings in regard to a board that I belong to for a pro-life charity. Various work on regard to finances, an email out to Ohio about voting, upcoming election call, website updates, broadcast schedule, upcoming trip plans, working on the prospecting program we do on the upcoming conference I was going to be speaking at, and did speak at, but was preparing for it, the NIFLA Conference of Pregnancy Centers. Now, as I landed, I talked with we had a volunteer driver who also helps us out with some technology things. So I had some, basically a meeting with him in the car on the way back, and one of my team also ended up getting on the phone at the same time. There at the building, once I arrived, our executive director, Janet Morena, came by. We did some taping of the Radio Maria radio program that we do. So we taped that together, and then I also taped here in the studio a little historical segment with her. You'll start seeing these different video segments where we talk about some moment in history of the pro-life movement and of the Priests for Life ministry. Then I had various meetings as the day went on with different staff and our chief operating officer and some other team members who were here. We have our fundraising manager visiting here from the West Coast, and so we were having various meetings with him. And that culminated in a 5:30 dinner meeting with one of our administrative team and our fundraising manager, and a little business meeting at a local pizza place. And then I got back to my desk, and at 8 p.m. we had the election meeting, the election training that we do every month via Zoom with volunteers from around the country. That lasted for about an hour, lasted till a little bit after 9. And then at 9:30, I had another interview. I was interviewed live for a podcast from a gentleman who does the podcast out of California, and so did that interview for a good long while. I think it was for about 45 minutes, and then was ready for bed. Thursday, the 23rd of April, was another busy day in the office. I did some shopping in the morning, and then staff briefing, met with various staff after the briefing, our computer technology, one of our administrative assistants and so forth. And then at 10 a.m. I had my live scripture broadcast here. 10:30 I had a call with our vice chairman, some administrative planning, taped the Praying for America program for this evening, had email work on things like the election of the new nuncio, the prospecting program we have, the meeting with pro-life leaders, Radio Maria, the new prayer booklet, and work on our upcoming newsletter. Then I had a luncheon meeting with our fundraising manager together with Mark from our administrative team, and we had a very fruitful luncheon meeting. Then I had to get back to the office for a 2:15 interview on the Terry Barber's program, a 45-minute interview there with him. And let's see, the rest of that day, I was, oh, sorry, I got the wrong page here. Yes, I was there at the office just the rest of the day doing quiet work and on many of the same topics that I just mentioned. That was Thursday the 23rd. Then Friday the 24th, let's see, I was doing work again in the office, starting out early at my desk on things like the pro-life brochure, personal finances, some work on that, website adjustments, our prospecting, some correspondence helping staff reply, our travelogue, our online store, items to print for the staff, password updates, the app for Priests for Life, and the new podcast that we're working on as well. What else did I do? I had the 10 a.m., met with the staff for their briefing, the 10 a.m. live scripture broadcast done right here from the studio, taped another pro-life program. At 12 noon, I had a phone call about our prospecting program. This is, your mail for new donors, and that was very exciting. Then I actually was having some lunch while having that call. And then at 1 o'clock, had a meeting with our social media director. At 2 o'clock, a broadcast planning meeting. And then some more meetings in the afternoon with administrative teams. Did another video for one of the state marches for life. Had a 4:30 phone call and then a 5 o'clock phone call with a former Satanist. You might have heard of Zachary King and his pro-life ministry. Really, really powerful. I've known him for many years. So we had a phone call where we were planning some things. And that was Friday the 24th. And then finally, Saturday the 25th of April, got up early, did some work at my desk, Instagram accounts for one of our executive team, podcasts with pro-life podcaster Jacob Barr, planning for that. Thank you letters for donors, updating the texts of those, looking at close districts for the midterm elections, some communication with our website team, the primer on the church and ending abortion, more promotion of that, preparations for our app, trip plans, communication with pollster Jim McLaughlin. He does polling for President Trump. Front Lines, which is our where did we go on our trips section of the website. Then some communication with Newsmax and also with our computer team. But I went early at 7 a.m. for a haircut and got gas in the car, came back to the office, more desk work on some of these topics, 10 o'clock scripture broadcast live, and then continued doing some organizing here in the building for some materials I'm going to bring down from New York. So I organized some space for that, did some more work at my desk. And then in the mid-afternoon, somewhere around 2 o'clock, I drove over to Orlando, went to one of my favorite restaurants in all the world. It's a shellfish all-you-can-eat buffet. For me, that's like a seafood heaven. I really like that stuff. So I had a nice late lunch there. But then I had an event there in Orlando that I went over to, the Florida Family Voice. So this is one of the leading lobbying and political and educational groups in Florida when it comes to pro-family and pro-life issues. So Florida Family Voice had invited me to come, and I interacted during the reception with some of our state legislators, some of our statewide pro-life leaders, various activists, and good Florida citizens who are committed to these issues like you and I are. So we had a very nice reception. Then we went into the gala dinner, and there's marvelous speakers, and there was song, and there was prayer, and there was support for the work and celebration of the victories that we've gotten all the way even up to not just the Florida Supreme Court, but the U.S. Supreme Court for life, for family, and for religious freedom. Those are the pillars of this organization's work. So lots of interaction, lots of networking, talked to a lot of people after the dinner, and then drove back to my office here in Titusville to conclude the day. And that's what I did from April 22 to 25 of 2026. Hope your days are fruitful as well. And thanks for taking some time to keep up with what I'm doing. Continue supporting what we're doing. We will end abortion. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey everybody, Doug Barry here. I am so thankful to have this opportunity to speak on behalf of Priests for Life. Father Frank and I are friends, go way back. I think it was like 1917, somewhere in that time frame when we first met. Actually, no, we did some work together at EWTN when I was co-hosting Life on the Rock. I've run into him at different pro-life events around the country, and I cannot speak highly enough about what Priests for Life is doing. The need for us to come together as a team, the need for us to work together for the glory of God, the salvation of souls, and in defense of life, in defense of the truth, the innocence, the dignity of every human life. So I cannot encourage you enough. Keep Priests for Life in your prayers and support them in whatever ways you can. And know that we are in this together. This is the battle we're all part of. We want to make sure that we're doing the best we can, working together in this fight for whatever God calls us to do and however he calls us to do that. So again, Priests for Life, God bless you. Thank you so much. And everybody out there, don't forget, support them with your prayers in any other way that you possibly can.
Follow him, Frank Pavone, Fr. Frank Pavone. He is the National Director of Priests for Life. Please go to priestsforlife.org.
Frank Pavone. Frank, thank you very much.